everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deja and this is the Heritage and Home Crochet podcast. I am so happy to be back here. I definitely have taken longer than I wanted to get the next video out, but life has been happening. But today I'm so excited because I'm going to be sharing with you some really cool things. I've got some whips, a couple of bows. One is questionable, I guess, but I have tons of things to show. So I'm going to go ahead and get started in the video. So the first thing I'm going to start with are the whips, and the one that I have here in front of me is a baby blanket. I'm making two blankets currently at the moment, and the first of which is this one. This is using the Bernat Baby Blanket yarn. It is a 6-weight bulky yarn. And this one is in the colorway Little Royales. This is what it looks like. This is a baby blanket that a friend of mine asked me to make for her little cousin. So she picked out this yarn, and yeah, it's working up really quickly. I think I started it 2 days ago, and I probably could have finished it by now if I weren't working on other things, but I'm pretty much almost done with it. It's pretty giant. Let's see if I can even, this is pretty much how big it is so far. I think I only have a couple more rows, maybe 3 or 4 more rows, and then I can go ahead and do a border, and we'll call that one done and done. So that is for the first baby blanket. I am using N hook. How do you say that? A-N-N-N. Anyways, I'm using a boy hook in size N, which is 10 millimeters. So there's that. Now the second blanket I am working on is this blanket. I'm using a yarn that I did talk about in one of my previous videos. This is the Premier Bloom chunky yarn. Looks like this. This is in the colorway Gerbera. And I am doing, I didn't mention it on the last blanket, I am working a moss stitch. You'll see that I love the moss stitch. It's probably my favorite stitch pattern to make for like anything. I think it just works well when you want a solid, just a nice solid piece of fabric. It's a really good one. So yeah, I was working the moss stitch on that one, and for this one I am making half double crochets for majority of the blanket, but I am gonna have like a band, so like the blanket is gonna be basically like a long rectangle. The bottom is gonna be half doubles, and I'm gonna have a band of moss stitch separated by 2 smaller like rows of slip stitches, which kind of gives like a royal ridge on either side of the moss stitch, and then it's going to be double or half double crochet all the way to the top. So it's going to be, you know, it's working out very quickly. I made it pretty much, I mean, I guess it's Afghan size. I mean, it's not really a lap blanket, not really, it's a bit bigger than that. So yeah, so you can see my half doubles. Then there's my royal ridge right here, if you can see it. I think it shows up better on this side. Royal ridge. And then I go into the moss stitch, as you can see. I think it's turned out really pretty. So when you knit this, or even do very tight single crochets, it creates a small little floral pattern with the colors, but it's not happening in my blanket, and I'm okay with that. Like, I think it still looks really nice, and I think my sister will appreciate it because it's something handmade from the hands of yours truly. So yeah, so I'm making some headway on this one, but it's not my main right now. When I finish up this baby blanket, I will probably go really hard on this one, but yeah, I've got some other faux that are in progress right now. And I am also using the 10 millimeter N hook to work this project up. Now the next thing, as far as a faux that I have, is my green moss stitch sweater that I'm working on, and here it is. I haven't been able to make a ton of progress on it. I have made some, definitely 5 or 6 rows I have made, but it's really looking good. I'm loving it. I've never constructed a sweater alone before, like before following a pattern, and probably this is my first sweater pattern that I'm making, the traveler sweater, so this will be my first time making one myself, and I think it's going really well. I'm really enjoying this, and I know I'm gonna really love this. I'm sort of thinking about doing something to jazz up the front here, maybe putting a row of windows, like small, using double crochets and chain ones, making some windows just along the top right here, and then going right back into my stitch pattern. But yeah, we'll see. That is that. And again, I am using the wool like yarn from Michaels. It is one weight yarn, and I am holding it double, and I am using a size 7 hook, which I believe is a 4.5 millimeter hook. So there's that. And the last whip I have to share with you today is my Traveler Colorwork sweater, which I have to say is going swimmingly. Now, I did go ahead and block the yoke. Since you guys saw it, I blocked the yoke using the new blocking mats and blocking pins that I talked about in my previous video. It was wonderful. It was great. I'm so glad I got those blocking pins, because I definitely would not been able to get the shape that I needed using the T-shaped pins. So the yoke turned out really, really beautiful. Here is the sweater so far, and I went ahead and started on the body. So I pretty much have this much done so far. I mean, I could probably go a few more rows and then go ahead and end it, and it can be sort of like a cropped sweater, but I am going to deviate from the pattern just a bit, because I prefer my tops to go down a little bit longer to the top of my thighs. At least in the front, and then in the back just a little bit longer, so it's sort of a high-low situation, and then I'll do a ribbing. So I'm going to split the hem on the bottom so that I can have the high-low situation that I like. And yeah, and I bought tons of yarn, so especially for the body, so I definitely will have enough yarn for to finish it. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's looking super good so far. Now, after you do the yoke, which you do the yoke entirely in waistcoat stitch or split single crochet stitches, and they look like this. Very gorgeous. I just love it. You know I'm a sucker for a closed crochet stitch. And you do the body in a single crochet, but you alternate front and back loop, so it gives you really this pretty texture. I did probably kind of go off the pattern just a little bit, because it's not supposed to stack the stitches on top of each other. The ones where you did it in the back loop, it shouldn't stack on top of another back loop. It should alternate, but I think I kind of like mixed it up a little bit, but I don't think anything's really noticeable. So yeah, it makes this cute little like popcorn textured stitch, and I just really like that. I had no clue that, you know, alternating front loop and back loop would give you that look. So yeah, so once I finish with the body of it, I'm gonna go back and do the sleeves, and I'm just really excited. It's looking really good. It feels good when I have it on. It's easy to get on and off. I do think, well, here's what happened. I was supposed to originally make this yoke a size medium, but I made it mistakenly. I think when I did my ribbing, I didn't make it the size that I needed, so it's technically a size small. So I followed all of the dimensions and stitches, stitch counts and everything for a size small. So it's a little bit small for me on the shoulders. I wish it kind of stretched out a little bit more, but it's fine. I'll still get plenty of wear out of it, and I'm hoping to lose weight anyway, so we'll see. But that's pretty much where I am so far on that. I picked up stitches for the body starting, today is Sunday evening, and I think I started doing stitches on this Friday evening, and I did just a few stitches, pretty much like right here. I did, and then I went ahead and did the rest of this like last night. And well, I pretty much done about this much today because I've been really busy today. But yeah, that's pretty much all for my whips. I'm really excited. Hopefully the next time I pop in, this will be done and I'll be well on my way with my green sweater. So there's that. Oh, and I didn't mention, I had to do all of the yoke with a size I hook. I did the ribbing for the neck ribbing with a size J. I did an I hook for the split single crochet because that stitch tends to run very tight anyways. And now I am down to an H hook for my body. Yep. H hook. All right. So that is all for my whips. Now, faux. So, the first faux that I'm going to show you, I'm very proud of. This is my granny stripe shawl. I finally finished it. So, what tends to happen with me is if I find myself not wanting to work on a project, especially if I really wanted to get it done, I'll just go crazy and just get it done so that my steam won't wane to the point where it's gonna just be an unfinished project, a UFO. I don't like UFOs. I don't like them at all, but I do have some. I ain't proud about it, and I'm probably gonna have to frog them and repurpose that yarn. But yeah, so anyways, enough waffling on. This is my granny shawl. It's a granny stripe shawl, and for the border I went ahead and did a picot edging. If you can see, I think it is very, very pretty. I think it just kind of goes so perfectly. It's a picot shell. I have no clue. It's a mixture of double crochets and chain stitch, or chain single crochet stitch. So yeah, there's that. And I think it's like a perfect size, just, you know, to kind of throw on. You know, you're just sitting around the house, you just want a little something extra, watching TV, crafting. And this will be from my grandmother. I'm going to visit her in a couple of days, but I wanted to definitely show it to you guys before I finished it. And I pretty much used almost all of the yarn. I have probably half of a skein left, but I didn't want to risk it for sure. So I didn't want to go ahead and try and do one more round and then try to do the picot edging. So I just went ahead and finished it off. So I finished that off probably close to a week now, but I'll be seeing my grandmother in a couple of days. So that'll be off of my hands, and it's kind of sad because it's the first thing I've ever made in this stitch and it's got to go away. But it's okay, I can always make another. So there's that as far as my first faux. Now the second one you might not consider a faux because technically the ends aren't weaved in. What else is new? And the it's actually it's still sort of attached to the skein. Here's the skein. Here's the hat. So I love this hat. I kind of made it in the style of a beret. So I started with half double crochets using the magic ring. I started with half double crochets, and then I worked my way down to single crochets because I believe this yarn is brilliant in single crochets. So I did single crochets here, you can see that, and then here's some double crochets, single crochets, and then right where I wanted the hat to sort of fold in on itself, I did some double crochets. Okay, you can see that right there. These are double crochets right there, and then single crochets. This yarn is just so beautiful. Double crochets and single crochets. So I was really having trouble as far as the border, not border, but the brim, or the brim. So I really wanted to do a slip stitch ribbing brim, and I thought it would be such a cute look, but it just wasn't working out for some reason in this yarn. I'm not really good at slip stitches anyways, slip stitch like ribbing. I'm just now kind of getting the hang of it, but I just couldn't get it. So I tried a few different combinations, but then I just stuck with a moss stitch, and it turned out so nice because it didn't mean that I had to kind of like add on a brim. If that makes sense, it's better to start from the ribbing brim if you're going to do it, as opposed to adding it onto a finished project, like to the project that's already crocheted up, because it's terrible. So I added a moss stitch and it worked brilliantly. You can see that again. Can't tell, a moss stitch is my absolute favorite. It's like not focusing. Okay, maybe if I hold it back a little bit. So yeah, that's the brim, and I just kind of fold it over like that, and it's so pretty. So it kind of looks like a beret. I'm gonna try to put it on without choking myself. Yeah, it makes this cute little fashionable hat. I didn't follow a pattern. I just kind of created it on my own. That's just what I do. If I want something, I just kind of try to make it. And I just think it's so pretty. Oh, it's giving me Paris. It's giving me Milan. I love it. So yeah, this is my cute little hat. And I have a full skein of this yarn left. I didn't mention it, but this yarn is, if I can find the yarn label. This yarn is Fresh Haven by Yarn Bee. It, I think, has 180 yards of a 100 grams skein. And this is in the color You're Blushing. And it's 100% lyocell, which is a fiber from bamboo. So it has this excellent sheen naturally to it, but I will say it is quite splitty. I did not enjoy that about this yarn at all, and it has no stretch, no give. So that's why I found it really hard trying to do a slip stitch ribbing with it. It just wasn't working out. So yeah, so now since I have so much extra yarn left over, I pretty much have probably a fourth of a skein and then a full skein. I'm thinking I would like to make either a small little lacy shawl or gauntlets using the single crochet and double crochet, because I thought that looked brilliant. So yeah, we'll see. I'm interested in some gauntlets. I can just see it with shells on the bottom edging. Oh, that would be so cute. Ugh. I will keep you guys posted on what I do with this. So there's that. And for this one, I used an H hook. This is the Clover Amour H hook. This is the boy hook, 10mm, which is the size N. And then I have been using the Tulip at Timo for pretty much everything else. That's my favorite brand of hooks, is the Tulip at Timo. One day I'm going to do a video all about my favorite crochet hooks, the ones that I love and the different sizes and the materials. One day I'll do that when I get a better camera situation, because I need a camera that will focus so you can see teeny tiny little objects in my hands, and you can see the definition. But another video that I have on the horizon is a video about my top 5 favorite yarns from Hobby Lobby Yarn Bee's line of yarns. And I'm excited. I've already taken pictures for that. I just need to film the video and edit it, and then that will be ready to go. But yeah, I just have to say I'm sorry that I don't have the best camera situation set up. This is again a hobby for me. This is just something I just decided to do one day because I've been thinking about it for so long. And I'm very excited to finally, you know, have the wheels set in motion for this. And I just hope to continue to improve. So, you know, I'm hoping that one day soon I can go ahead and get a blog and get that set up so I can insert pictures and kind of describe things more in depth with what I've been working on. And yeah, we'll see. Things are hopefully coming, but it's in their own due time. This is a hobby for me, so this is something that I'm just enjoying. I'm just happy to have an outlet to talk about my yarn obsession. It's crazy. I don't know if you can kind of see part of my yarn stash back here. This is not all of it by any means, just some of it. But yeah. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you so much for joining me. Please check out some of my recent videos. Give them a thumbs up, a like, show them to anybody that you think might be interested in these things, because it really does help me out, and I really would love to grow my channel, but I mean, it's not my goal. I really want to attract people who love the content that I make, and you know, people who are just really interested in the yarns and the whips and the type of crochet that I do. So feel free to okay, we're going to just pretend that didn't happen. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys have a great night, and thank you so much. Please like and subscribe to my channel and comment for any questions or to give me any wonderful insights. Have a great night. Bye.